gentlemen, in the green corner, in the yellow corner.
Friday Fight Night, in association with StancePoker.com.
On Friday Fight Night tonight, it's a real battle of Britain with the prestigious Lonsdale belt at stake, featuring Scotland's Barry Morrison, the aggressive British light welterweight champion.
Oh, there's another left. Good night. Over and out. Barry Morrison, the first Scotsman to hold the British light welterweight title.
Morrison defends against England's skillful challenger, Colin Lynes.
Wonderful shot from Colin Lynes. What a right hand. It's another cracking performance from him.
Friday Fight Night comes from the Motherwell Civic Centre. It's a homecoming for Barry Morrison, but also a difficult first defence against the experienced Colin Lynes. Hello and welcome. Well, Anglo-Scottish rivalry is as fervent in boxing as in any sport. There's long been many hard-fought and competitive duels, as Jim knows better than most. And there's been a glow north of the border lately as Scottish boxing undergoes a lively resurgence. Later on, we'll showcase some of the finest talent emerging in these parts. Mark Hasty, a local boy with 5 fights and 5 wins against Alex Stoder from Estonia. And from Bannockburn, Jamie Coyle against an Englishman, Graham Del Eddy. Plus more Celtic talents in Welshman Damien Owen of Swansea against Venezuelan Pedro Verdu. But first, it's a fascinating matchup between two respected British fighters as Motherwell's tough, explosive Barry Morrison meets the man from Essex, talented technician Colin Lynes. Ed Robinson weighs it up.
Barry Morrison's still on a high after relieving Lenny Dawes of his unbeaten record and Lonsdale belt down in London.
Barry Morrison becomes the first Scotsman to hold the British light welterweight title.
It's still buzzing and it's shown in my training, you know. I'm training, well, I'm still training like a challenger because it'd be mad not to with the big fights coming up.
But now, sharp-punching Colin Lynes intends to bring the Scot back down to earth with a bang.
Wonderful shot from Colin Lynes, timed to perfection.
It's what I've always dreamed of, winning a British title, and very excited. Can't wait. Been shut out for 18 months, so got my shot at last, and I'm going to take it. If you're going to fight the champion, you're going to rip the belt off the champion, you've got to go to his backyard and do it in style, and that's what I intend doing.
Lynes is an experienced championship fighter, but he's also got a point to prove. After a late-notice clash with Dawes, went disastrously wrong.
Colin Lynes is in trouble. Looks like it's going to be sick. The fight's over!
Short notice, and then I wasn't well on top of that, and I've learnt a harsh lesson there.
But this time around, training's gone perfectly to plan.
I just know I'm going to be the fittest, strongest, and I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to set a pace and I'm just going to stay at it, and what has to be done and what will be done.
He'll certainly need to be at his best to dethrone the fresh, confident and hard-hitting Morrison, who should only have improved for winning the title.
I'm really up for it, you know, up for it more than I was for Lenny Dawes, and just can't wait to get it on.
It looks a fascinatingly poised battle.
Just whatever needs to be done will be done to bring that belt on, and that's all I know. That's all I'm thinking of.
100% confident he's not going home with my belt. I'm taking it home.
Well, an intriguing contest for sure. And Jim, first defence for Morrison against a capable and more experienced fighter in Lynes. Will this be a very demanding test for Morrison?
Yeah, I think it's a real tough first defence for Morrison. We usually say when a fighter wins a title, he improves as a fighter, but I think Morrison may need a little bit of time to grow into the role. I don't think he's the finished article. I think a few rough edges. He's not going to get that time. The 10-stone division is one of the most competitive in the country. A lot of hard work to be done if Morrison wants to hang on to his title, and that starts tonight with Colin Lynes. Tough one for him.
Nevertheless, Morrison has taken that first step as champion, hasn't he? Do you think he will grow in stature?
Yeah, I think he will, and he'll have belief in himself now that he's actually won the title. He'll feel like a champion, he knows he's capable of it. But I think he'll also realise the struggle he had in winning the title. Now this night against Lenny Dawes, he faced a man with the same number of fights he had, who had been a pro the same amount of time, so it was a good even match. He raised his game, his recent form wasn't all that good up to this point, but he really raised his game, he went for it, and in the first half of the fight he really looked championship material. But there was a little flat spot as we got to the middle of the contest. When we got to the 7th and 8th round, he slowed down a little bit. I think he realised the 12-round distance was a bit tougher than he thought it was. Dawes started to come back at him, and it looked at this stage as though the fight was going to turn against him. But as the fight wore on and we got towards the later stages, you can see he's struggling a little bit here. Just didn't have the experience to back up the situation and what was happening to him. But towards the end of the fight, he showed the character that's required of champions. He dug in that little bit deeper than Dawes managed to do, and he was victorious. It was a hard-fought win, a deserved win, but I think he will realise there's still a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, will he have to reproduce that form to win here tonight?
I think he'll have to reproduce it, but different form tonight. This is an entirely different man, very experienced, real classy operator.
Is this the last chance for him?
Yeah, and I think he realises that. He knows he's had twice as many fights as Morrison. He's mixed in better company. He's shown up well in better company. He's lost a couple of the important fights, but I'm sure he feels he has a lot to offer. He hasn't had a punishing career. This, as I say, is a real tough first defence for Barry Morrison.
Well, Friday Fight Night's back at the packed and atmospheric Motherwell Civic Centre for this competitive-looking battle. Commentators Adam Smith and Glenn McCrory, after our Master of Ceremonies, Gary Logan.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to viewers joining us live and exclusive on Sky Sports Friday Night Fight at the Motherwell Concert Hall. Tonight we begin with the main event of the evening. Please welcome to the ring, from Hornchurch in Essex, Colin Lines.
Well, it's now or never for Essex's extremely technically able Colin Lines, who, when flowing, is a joy to watch. Old school skills, and once thought to be a star in the making. Hasn't happened, and at 29, this may be the one real chance. He's drilled himself into shape. He promises to wrench the title away from Barry Morrison tonight, and he might need to.
Yes, he certainly looks very good physically. He walks into the ring with his head held high and a certain air of confidence written across that face. Looks very good, Colin Lines.
Lines is buzzing, but a confident walk surely for the champion, Barry Morrison. It's his property, the Lonsdale belt.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your champion from Motherwell, Barry Morrison.
Step my game up in this lane.
That's the prize. Intense, this atmosphere. Because in a matter of a few months, Barry Morrison has gone from almost zero to hometown hero here in Motherwell. This time last year, he was rebuilding from his only defeat. Then he surprised Lenny Dawes with an all-out attack to capture a British crown. Can he come on from being a champion? Plenty in the trade, looking forward to this. Lines, the older man by 2 years, about the same height and reach. 10 stone the limit, like welterweights, and they're good ones. Lines has been around so much longer, almost double the fights and the rounds boxed, but the power may lie with Barry Morrison. Could be tactical, this. Intriguing.
equipment.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control, your steward in charge, Bernal Connolly, your timekeeper, James Kirkwood. Your judges will be Mark Green of London, Victor Loughlin of Paisley, and Terry O'Connor of Birmingham. When your action begins, your referee will be Mr. Phil Edwards of Preston. And now, live and exclusive on Sky Sports Friday Night Fight, Barry Hearn and Tommy Gilmore, in conjunction with St Andrews Sporting Club and with your main sponsors, Supplica, proudly present your main event, a contest for 12 3-minute rounds for the light welterweight championship of Great Britain. Introducing to you first, fighting out the red corner, wearing the black with silver trunks. He comes from Hornchurch in Essex and weighed in at 9 stone 13 and 3/4 pounds. Tonight, this gentleman brings to the ring a 31 fight record, 28 wins, 11 wins by way of knockout, against only three draws, 3 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your challenger, Colin Lyne. And in the red corner, wearing the claret and gold trunks, he's your hometown gentleman, fighting right here in Motherwell. He weighs in right on the limit of 10 stones. He brings to the ring tonight a 15-fight record, 14 wins, 7 wins by way of knockout against a single defeat. Making his first defense of his title, presented Motherwell's very own reigning British light welterweight champion, Barry Morrison. Referee Phil Edwards will give the final instructions.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you both. Defend yourselves at all times. Be careful with your heads when you're in close. Touch gloves, good luck.
A cacophony of noise. It is electric here. Tough looking first defence of the British light welterweight title for Motherwell's 27-year-old Barry Morrison. Proud pro, but he may be tested here by the ring generalship of Hornchurch's Colin Lynes, who believes this is his night. So focused, Lynes, in the introductions there. And if he gets into a rhythm, this could be interesting, Glenn.
Yes, he wants to get using that left jab straight away, Lynes. He's a good boxing type, but he's got a good right hand as well. Morrison, who's the champion, will want to force the pace and show him that he's on his home turf and that he is the champion.
That's it, he's had time to rest and enjoy being a British champion, Barry Morrison, since he won the title in January at the Alexandra Palace. But now it's all about keeping hold of it. And it's a dangerous first assignment, this, against Lynes, who is accomplished, seasoned, and can be sparkling.
Both just trying to get their jabs on. Lynes having a little more success finding the range.
A good jab there from Colin Lynes, who uses his 71-inch reach, extends it out. And the one thing we've seen with Morrison is he can be outboxed at times, and that's what Lynes will be looking for.
And we've got to remember Adam Lynes, much more experienced. You know, he's been in with a better caliber of fighter than Morrison. So, you know, he's gonna know what to expect.
But he was pulled out in his fight against Lenny Dawes, and Morrison beat Dawes. So the form line has Morrison a 4-1 on favourite here to retain.
But styles do make fights, and You know, you've got to admit that Dawes was really made for Morrison, and you know, Lyons had took that at short notice and wasn't in the best of shape, so I wouldn't read too much into it.
Body shot with the left hand from Morrison. But it's a busy, sharp start, this from Colin Lyons.
Yes, Lyons' jab is the more accurate of the two. We expected that early on. Morrison sometimes starts a little slowly. Can't really afford to here.
Good work from Colin Lyons. Will it all come together for him? Second challenge at a British title for the amiable man from Hornchurch, and he has begun excellently.
Forget about that when we start to scratch here. We start to scratch here, all right? We need to start to take the ring up, but we're not taking the right half. We're not working enough.
What? Get in the jag, when you get in there, get the water open.
Yes, yeah. Go.
Nice goal. Colour's beautiful. You keep sticking with that jab, right? And let him know you're trying it. It's good. Good. On the head.
A very warm welcome back to a boiling hot Motherwell Civic Centre here in North Lanarkshire. And Colin Lyons is coming to the cauldron, into the den. Not a bad start.
Well, I don't know if Morrison's had anything to eat, but he's certainly eaten those jabs from Lyons. Look at that. Excellent, getting off very sharp. Good start from Lyons.
The 27-year-old Morrison, fight number 16, and crucially, the 32nd for Colin Lyons, who's been in with the likes of Samuel Malinga and Junior Witter. Didn't disgrace himself against Witter either, but lost that British challenge. Believes this is his destiny tonight, that it will all happen for him, even at this late stage at 29.
Oh, it's a nice relaxed start from Lyons. You know, he's moving the head very well, just dipping the knees and just keeping out of range as Morrison just tries to pick the pace up a little bit.
He popped a right hand in there, Barry Morrison, who won 6 junior titles in the amateurs. Had a fierce rivalry with Kevin Anderson, who retained his British welterweight title in this very ring against Eamon McGee. Good times for the Scots.
Well, I think Lyons will be feeling pretty happy and confident that the jabs start to land so well this early. That's your feeler, you know, you just want to get that jab out, you want to measure your range for your other punches, and it's working perfectly at present.
He was saying to me beforehand, Lyons, that if he can establish a rhythm, he can walk away with this. He's that confident in his ability, Glenn.
Well, he did come into the ring with a great air of confidence. Knows the job in hand and really thinks he's up to that job.
Also motivated by the fact his father, David, is at ringside, seriously ill, but he's made it here tonight, alongside Colin's wife, Kelly, who's never far away from the action, and this is beautiful from Lyons behind the jab.
Well, remember, Lyons has got a good right hand as well. He's not rushing to use that and leave himself open. It's a very educated offense from Lyons. He's just waiting just to soften Morrison up before he lets that punch go.
The one loss on Morrison's slate was to Mihaita Mutu, a French-based Romanian, and he was picked off. And Lyons is doing the same early in the fight, but very positive work for the Essex challenger.
Well, this has got to be just denting the confidence of Morrison a little bit early on, hasn't it? Been hit with these many jabs.
Great work from Lyons.
Boxing, brilliant, right? So you've got to keep doing it. You hear me, Colin? Feel good? Right, the key is what you're doing with a straight jab to the middle. Right hand has the play. Keep it like it is. All he's trying to do is a left hook. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying to big and you can see him coming. As soon as you do your foot to the side up your jab, as soon as you're too close, step back and he misses all the time. Right? Keep like that. Looking good.
You are looking very good, Colin.
Well, we've always known Colin Lynes has the talent, the pedigree, the technical ability. Quite a statistic after 2 rounds.
Yeah, working perfectly behind that jab. Great start to this contest from Colin Lynes.
A long way to go, of course, but worth remembering even this early that Lynes has been 12 rounds on 3 occasions, and Morrison only the once when he beat Lenny Dawes. The caliber and experience of Lynes could be crucial, but Morrison just cranks up the pace. Slow starter sometimes. Here he goes.
Well, this is what he needs to do. He's got to cut down that range, get inside the arms of Lynes, just negate that left lead, and by doing that he's going to start throwing some right hands of his own, just sicken Lynes from throwing that left.
Lynes was almost sick at the end of that Lenny Dawes fight, never got into it down at York Hall. Looks a different man tonight, but can Morrison get close and unload his combinations, make Lynes feel his physical presence?
Well, first 2 rounds, Morrison give Lynes too much room to use that jab. Now he's got to close the distance down, start landing some big punches, take the fight away from Lynes.
7 knockouts in his 14 victories. Barry Morrison has been brought up on tough international opposition. There's that jab again, to perfection.
Well, he's obviously worked very hard in the gym of Paul Cook, working with his son Nicky Cook. They really have worked that jab, haven't they? Sharp work.
Yep, Nicky, world-class featherweight, who's with us at ringside. Lynes has been sparring with him, specifically on speed, and he is catching the head of Barry Morrison, which is a static target at the moment.
Well, looking at them both now, you'd have to wonder who the champion was, because it's Lynes that's boxing like a champion.
And he's an intelligent guy, Colin Lynes. He knows he can't nick these rounds. He's got to win them comfortably to take the title away from the champion. A bit more from Morrison in the first part of this round, but again, Lynes just looking so comfortable, so on song.
Yeah, the better work, confident work, just sticking that jab out. It's working so well.
Dream start for Colin Lynes.
You have more top light welterweight action for you next week with the vacant Commonwealth crown on the line. A chance to see one of boxing's best kept secrets, the classier Jose Olusegun against exciting battler Gary Reed. That's Friday Fight Night. Next week at 10 p.m. over on Sky Sports 1.
Yeah, it could be rather fabulous. Jose Olusegun, the light welterweight, such a great division in Britain at the moment, led by Ricky Hatton and Junior Witter, of course. on the world stage. Ted Bammy, the European champion. He'll be in action against young Muttley next month. Here we have the British belt. The quality operators in Barry Morrison from here in Motherwell, and Colin Lynes, who's made the journey up from Essex with a fair few supporters. Morrison aiming for the body. Got to slow Lynes down, hasn't he?
Yes, he does. You want to see him try something a little bit different, throw a few feints, you know, do something. He's just telegraphing that jab, and Lynes just too quick, seeing it and beating him to the jab or catching him with the counter.
These flashy new shorts, a claret and gold of Morrison. Plenty of attention up here. First ever British champion from Motherwell. How long will the reign last?
Well, it's still early in this fight. He just needs a breakthrough. Morrison has got to try and change the tide. He's starting just to slip a little bit better, but there's still enough jabs getting through.
Body shot from Lynes. Combinations. Morrison trying to dig in with hooks. Being outsped though and outthought in there.
He just looked a little hurt from that body shot, took a little step back as if just to think and regroup.
Left hook from Morrison, who'll be driven on by these fans. Very tightly packed arena here. Better use of the jab, but enough.
Well, he's making Lynes miss a little more, so maybe he's just starting to warm to the task. Sometimes does start a little slowly.
Lynes attempts to double up the jab, not with the same force as in the first 3 rounds. He's closed the range ever so slightly, Morrison. Maybe he has to take Lynes into the trenches. Should be fresher and maybe more ambitious, Morrison.
Yes, this round's been a little better for Morrison. The jab hasn't been as effective from Lynes.
Well, the light welterweight division may just be the best
not you.
in British boxing at the moment. Morrison there at 4, Lynes at 9, but have a look at the talent there. Ricky Hatton fights Jose Luis Castillo in Las Vegas. Junior Witter, the WBC champion. Ted Bammy, Jose Alushagan, who you can see next week, and then plenty of talent below that as well, Glenn. So many matches could be made.
Yeah, very, very good division. We're going to see some good fights, hopefully, at the light welterweight limit. So he started finally to get a few shots off, just to avoid that jab, a little bit more head movement, and that was better from Barry Morrison.
Second zone, round 5.
First third of this encounter over. No doubt Colin Lynes has the better of things. The purple and gold of Barry Morrison. Silver and black of Lynes. Really attempting to break through the guard of Lynes, Morrison, and hurt him to the body.
See, this could really be about pace for Morrison. Has he got the pace? You know, can he up the tempo? Make Lynes fight at a pace he doesn't want to.
Gum shield out. Phil Edwards just making sure it is Barry Morrison's. And a moment just to get our breath back. And assess this situation. Glenn Morrison just inching closer.
Yes, he is. There's still some good counters coming from Lyons. You know, he's got that jab. He's making Morrison miss there. Is Morrison getting a little bit wild, maybe a little bit frustrated.
Their styles, of course, do make fights. It was a very different Barry Morrison against Lenny Dawes. He came out like a man possessed, didn't he, that night?
Yes, he did, but Dawes' style is very much made for Morrison. You know, he likes to come forward. He likes to have a fight. This is not the good boxing that Colin Lyons possesses. You know, he's not allowing Morrison to fight inside. He's moving quickly off the ropes.
Last couple of sessions have been closer. 3 judges at ringside now, under British rules. Slight swelling just under the left eye of Barry Morrison.
Again, he's not as effective. Lyons just missing with more punches. Good right hand lines through there.
He needs to keep this up, Lyons. Has to be switched on for the whole 12 rounds. Has had mental lapses before. When it lands that jab, still extremely effective. But closer.
Yes, he's coming forward more. He's more effective now, Morrison. Just trying to look for single shots. I like to see Morrison throw some combinations.
Yeah, we're coming in here again, hear me? We're coming in here. We're coming in here.
Always
We're
better.
getting closer. Closer all the time. Closer still. Get the head, and get the head moving all the time. All the time. All the time. Shut the right hand side off. Hear me, listen to me. See these single hooks you're showing? Get them arresting me away. Let's start taking the bits of me bit with the left hand, the right hands, and take the ring off them. Then we'll bring these shots in. Hear me? Don't be afraid to bring them up at all when you're in there. Come on, let's see some of them screws up inside. Come up, see the way he's bobbing and weaving. And you're there, bring them up a wee bit more. They're not the top. Here, we've got the foot in the gas here now.
Very interesting one, this. Colin Lyons
Don't take it off again.
with the success rate. It's close. He's thrown more and landed more, though.
There's a couple of left hooks. First one landed okay. Second one wasn't really on the target. The body punching was better. Making it more of his fight now, Morrison.
Only the 90th round of Barry Morrison's professional career. And the 175th for Colin Lyons. Real prospect himself. Once upon a time, he destroyed Kevin Bennett and like. Crumbled to Samuel Malinga. And has built back gently from that. Just needs a big night, doesn't he, Colin Lyons?
Yes, he does. He certainly pumped himself up for this one. Did all the work in the gym, had plenty preparation. This is the fight he's wanted. So, no excuses. He's prepared.
Might have to trade at times as well, Lyons. So broad and big, isn't he, Barry Morrison? That brute force and strength.
Lyons is having to use the ring an awful lot, so he's not getting set to get any sort of power punches on. Where going forward, Morrison's got the momentum, is getting more into his left hooks.
Yes, more of Lyons on the back foot. Good defense there from Morrison. Small blemish by the right eye of Colin Lyons.
The jab starting to work again in this round 4 lines, that's better.
A good amateur himself, Colin Lynes, was stopped by Ricky Hatton, but did win 62 of 72. And as a pro, only 3 defeats in 31.
Solid right hand, caught Morrison on the body. But he's got some power with that punch, sorry Adam.
Yes.
Lynes when he lets it go, the right hand.
And speed too. 11 knockouts in 28 wins. But his timing has always been pretty good, Colin Lynes. Gum shield out again. And Barry Morrison getting a little annoyed about this. Did get demoralised in that defeat to Mutu. He needs to keep his focus and his game plan intact as well, the champion.
Again, it's 2 good jabs from Colin Lynes, who's starting to match Morrison when they stand and trade.
Body shots from Morrison, being told to keep them up by Phil Edwards. Occasionally, he has that success in tight like that. But is he winning the rounds, Morrison? Maybe not.
How do you think, yes?
Archie Mackay in the corner, head down of Barry Morrison, and we've seen him getting depressed before.
Yeah, I wonder if the doubts are starting to come in his mind. Certainly, those left jabs must be making him think. Rapid fire, doubling up on the jab, sometimes single, sometimes double, but the landing, connecting, that was a good round. Just established his control again. Colin Lynes.
Just slipping away.
That's how you see it. Lynes by a couple.
Slipping away, Carl.
He's got to do something different. So you keep your hands up, you box him.
Doing very well, just getting himself back into it. And you're right, the head just dipping down. You don't like to see that in a fighter.
And halfway as well. Here's the 7th round. Remember, Barry Morrison, the defending champion from Motherwell. And this is first defence against Colin Lynes. Could have given him an easier one, to be honest, but it's good for us.
Well, the champion really needs to be in with the best contenders out there, and there's a few in this division. Want a shot at the title. Short little right hand landing from Morrison gives him a success in this round.
Been boxing since he was 12, Barry Morrison. Colin Lynes since he was 10. Lynes' earliest memory is not having a clue how to fight. He does now.
He certainly does, and he's really worked on that jab. You know, they've done their homework, Paul Cook, in that gym. They've looked at what they've got in front of them. They've seen at times he can be a little bit one-dimensional, one-paced, Barry Morrison, and they're really capitalizing on that with the jab and the straight punches.
Yep, assessing Morrison, the homework has been good from Paul Cook and team. Second trainer Lynes has had was with Graham Melton. Wanted a change, a freshen up, and he's boxing very well indeed.
You can just see the determination in the face of Colin Lynes. If he gets caught with a shot, he comes straight back.
Yep, the word was that the preparation was fabulous for Lynes, and he has looked intent on taking this title ever since he landed in Scotland. Morrison, well, he's got motivation as well. Won't want to lose this in front of these loyal supporters who've come out. They want a party tonight here in Motherwell. They won't get it on this evidence.
Well, he's not moving forward as much as he should, Morrison, and for me, I'd like to see Colin Lynes start to stand his ground a little bit, not slug it out with Morrison, but just educate behind the jab. Try and push Morrison onto the back foot with straight punches. I don't think he likes doing that.
Been around 9 years, Lines. Morrison only 4. Taking him to school a touch.
Yep, certainly this is a very good display by Colin Lines.
Sensible and methodical for Lines. There's been some terrific holders of this British title in the past. The great Dave Boy Green, 2 world title shots, lost to Carlos Palomino and Sugar Ray Leonard. Good fighter though. Clinton McKenzie held the title on 3 separate occasions. Terry Marsh went on to become the IBF world champion, of course. Pat Barrett, the Black Flash, big puncher. Slight underachiever maybe. Andy Holligan, 2-time British champion. Ricky Hatton, unbeaten, one of our best. And Junior Witter, how he still wants that fight with Hatton, the current WBC world champion. Not everyone's favorite flavor, but very good at what he does, Witter, and hard to beat. Defeated Colin Lines, and it takes a good fighter to do that. Blue corner getting worried, feeling that Morrison is just throwing too many single shots. Needs to get the combinations flowing. Press Lines.
Well, they were screaming in Morrison's corner to cut the ring off, to close the distance down. He's got to be right on top of Lines, not allow him to get the straight punches off, and especially do something to stop that jab.
Feels it's a real honour to hold this British title. Barry Morrison is a fight fanatic. Reads the autobiographies of current and past champions. Student of the game. Will not want to lose his crown at the first hurdle. But he's got to change this pattern, and fast.
Well, you just wonder if he's running out of ideas a little bit. Morrison tries the left hook to the body. He's good with that punch. Getting made to miss by the quick moving Lines.
Lines was saying beforehand, it's all very well saying you can get into a rhythm and box someone's head off, but you've got to go in and do it and maintain the concentration and focus. And he has, expertly so far. Poker face.
Yeah, his expression's never changed. Just concentration etched across that face. Knows the job he's got to do. Morrison pushes forward, tries to get off with a couple of shots, but Lines is educated, ties him up inside.
And finishes that with a left hook. And 3 jabs for good measure. Didn't all land cleanly, but you get the picture.
Getting a little more confidence, starting to come forward, Lines.
Big fan of the heavyweights. Barry Morrison's taught his son Dempsey. I think one of his heroes is Mike Tyson. Where's the bobbing and weaving?
Well, he just looks like he hasn't got the plan B, doesn't know what to do. He's not cutting the ring off, not following the corners that bite.
Listen here, listen. You really need to move it in this fight. And I kept saying the same things all the time. Listen, you've time for your wee boy to get his title. Hear me? To get his title. This fight is not get took away from us if we won't fucking change this fight. Hear me? Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Hey, no matter what you've got to do, you've got to change this fight. Hear me? You've got to change this fight. That's changing this fight means combination punching. Doesn't mean single shots. Hear me? Hear me? Hey,
Come on, Barry.
let's take him right into the trenches, man, and see what we can do with him now. Yeah, we need this fight. Barry, we need this, man.
The advice, well, it's right, Glenn, but look at the head of Morrison, deflated.
No, they're saying everything that we're saying in that corner. He's not cutting the ring off. He's not getting close enough. He's not landing with combinations. You know, he's allowing Lyons to get that jab off and look good, knocking the head back like that.
We're into the 9th round, and Barry Morrison has not got into his groove. Such a shame if that terrific win over Lenny Dawes can't be followed up. But is he running out of time, out of ideas? And is this, as Colin Lyons predicted, his night? It's like he knew all along, Glenn.
Well, there's still time, and remember, he's got to punch Morrison. He's going to need to find something to change the pattern of this fight. Just looks a little bit dejected in there, doesn't he?
They did manage to catch up with Gary Reid late on in the fight, but the power really has been early for Morrison. And Lyons hasn't looked in trouble and has shown a good chin and resilience in that department in the past.
Well, the Scottish crowd trying to rally their man with a rendition of Flower of Scotland. Might need a little more than that.
Lyons' trainer, Paul Cook, banging the canvas in delight at the performance of his charge tonight. But still, things can change in boxing. Nothing is for certain.
Tries the left hooks to the body. That's a favourite punch of Morrison. But it's single shot still, and the corner begged him for combinations, but he doesn't appear able to do that.
He's a man of few words, Barry Morrison. Likes to do his talking in the ring. And there is a somber look about him in this fight. He needs to try and work the Lyons body, make him tire. But Lyons having an answer.
Lyons starting to look more confident, as if I think he feels the strength of Morrison is just starting to sap.
Right hand from Morrison. That was a good punch. And Lyons just had his guard down. That's why you need to keep your concentration.
Well, Lyons now starting to gamble a little bit, looking for bigger punches. Wants to make sure if he does that he's timed it right.
Sweat pouring off the face of Phil Edwards, the referee. Boiling and bubbling here. And it's Colin Lyons who has taken charge.
Don't get too close. You go bang, 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 then out of the way, right? I don't want you just put it in there and again, you go bong, bong, bong. Kind of nice, 10 round, but you're fucking do 20 rounds like this. You got to keep it snappy, son, right?
You won the fight like it, carry on.
Come, it's all going to plan, you keep it going. Keep spraying him.
Yeah.
Keep it going, son.
That's all he needs to do. Keep doing what he's doing.
Yep, there's a bit worried he's starting to stand in a little bit, maybe get a bit confident, and they just want him to keep boxing.
Corner's 10 Father, David, at ringside. I think his mum, Sheila, is. Colin Lyons as well. Very, very ill, but he's here, and that has given Lyons the mental focus. He believes this time he's physically prepared too. So well, Colin Lyons, and he looks like a British champion in waiting. 9 minutes to go.
Well, one of the greatest strengths a boxer can have is belief. If you really believe you can win, you know, that's often the case.
After he stopped Janos Petrovic last time out Lines, he was saying to us that it's just the perfect fight for him, Barry Morrison. He was ready to go there and then.
Well, I think he's got to follow orders still. Colin Lines, use the jab, don't get drawn in. Long range, keep it simple.
3 judges at ringside, Mark Green in front of us, Victor Loughlin and Terry O'Connor. And when Morrison won the title, there was a strange verdict from Dave Paris, who had Dawes winning by 5 rounds, so you never know. But Lines surely in a handy lead, Glenn.
Well, you'd think so. He's doing everything the way he wants to do. You know, he's controlling the action here, even defensively. You know, he's just drawing Morrison in and then lovely counters, then moving away again, making Morrison look quite pedestrian at times, the way he lunges in and silly misses.
Last couple of years, Scotland have had Alex Arthur, Willie Limond win a Commonwealth title, John Simpson a British title, Kevin Anderson, but Barry Morrison, is it all slipping away? He's lunging forward, he's trying desperately to change the routine and that rhythm that Lines is setting. Not really achieving it.
No, he's never really looked like he can change tempo, up the pace a little bit, throw some quick combinations. He really has tamed Morrison with his good boxing skills.
Bouncing on his feet now, Colin Lines, using the ring so well. His movement has been precise and clever. And at the moment, it's a boxing lesson. Tommy Gilmore, Morrison's promoter, urging him in. He knows, he's shaking his head. The title is slipping away.
Get a breathing going. Need these rounds now.
Come on,
get a breathing going.
Suck it up.
Breathe it
Take
in.
on.
Breathe it in. Remember, here. Exactly what we're telling you at the time. We've got to push
With a
this
crestfallen
fight.
figure. And that, well, it's an
Push it and take it
outstanding
right
jab
off. The big thing is
statistic.
he's
Over
his ring
100
movement.
landing
We've got to take
from
that
Colin
full
Lines.
combination punches. We've got to take
The
fight
punch
to him.
that leads to everything, the jab.
Yeah, it's been so simple, but it's been carried out so well.
What a performance so far from Colin Lines, and a great deal of action ahead on this packed card. Damien Owen, Welsh prospect, up against Pedro Verdu from Venezuela. We've got Graham Deleri and Jamie Coyle. Good fight there, lovely match. And Mark Hasty from these parts up against the tough Estonian Alex Stoda. All ahead for you on Friday Fight Night. What's ahead? Here is Colin Lines, 6 minutes away from the achievement that he's craved his whole professional career. Surely, Glenn, he just needs to box his way home and stay out of trouble.
Well, sometimes that's easier said than done. They're obviously both getting tired, and that's when mistakes happen. And he's boxed so well, Lines. He really needs just to keep the concentration, keep it together. Can't afford a lapse.
One or two of these rounds have been tight, but the impression, the feeling, is that Lines has mastered Morrison. Is there a late twist to the tail?
Well, I think it's just the extra experience, isn't it? You know, he's had so many more fights, you know, in a better level. Lines, he's pulled it all together. You know, he still had to do it. He still had to do the work and really concentrate, and he's done it.
And he lost to a world-class Samuel Malinga. No disgrace in sort of boxing behind Junior Witter, as he did for 12 rounds. And the Lenny Dawes loss there was an explanation to that. He wasn't well, it was short notice. This, he's backed up what he said. He nods at the corner. He believes Colin Lines. He really does.
Being a little bit quieter, taking a rest. It looks in this one, Lines used the ring an awful lot. It hasn't been as effective, but I think he's entitled to a little breather, isn't he?
Worked very hard. Spot of blood on the mouth of Barry Morrison. Gum shield, which has caused him problems during this. Very serious look at his trainer, Archie Mackay. Benny King alongside an experienced corner team, and they just can't change the fight. The crowd are trying to rally
trying
him.
to lift their man as much as they can. And he might have been just a little bit busier in this round.
Yeah, he's done a bit less here, Colin Lines. Maybe he thinks it's in the bag.
Well, I think he'll want to be saving himself a little bit for the last round in case there's a mad attack from Morrison.
Excellent point, Glenn. That's the experience from Lines.
Clever, don't brawl, don't brawl. You're clever.
Come in.
You're looking brilliant, son. Right. One man, you know what's going to happen here, don't you?
He's gonna...
one way you can win this is not you out, mate. And he ain't going to have that. You keep nice and composed. Right. Don't let him think his own way. Keep moving around.
Come on, Kenny. Let's see me turn this one about here, man. One good 3 minute round.
That's some Barrister's gloves.
All right. Nine. Well, Kenny, look at it. Going.
Lines pop straight up. Morrison utterly dejected and way behind on your card.
Yeah, 107, 102, a handy lead from my scorecard in favour of Colin Lines, who's been absolutely excellent tonight.
He promised us a formidable challenge, and Colin Lines has been true to his word. He's delivered. That jab has been potent and precisely used pretty much all the way through. He's dulled Morrison, negated the Scotsman's aggression. And Morrison, well, it's desperation time. And is there enough energy to summon up a late burst?
Well, he's got to start throwing the big punches. He's just got to let them go, let everything go. But I just don't know if Morrison has really got the conditioning to do that. He's had to fight at a hard pace. He's had to chase Lines round the ring an awful lot. He's missed with so many punches, and I think he's feeling the pace.
And Glenn, you know better than anyone that boxing is also so mental. If you believe you can do something, if you've brought your family here, if everything's gone right, it just takes you to the next level.
Adam, one thing made me think he was going to be a real threat, and that was him coming into the ring. His face just looked so positive. Colin Lines really looked like he was a man on a mission.
Right hand from Morrison. Just caught Lines napping. Hurt by that. Minute 35 left. All is good work, Colin Lines. Just got to hang in there. Use that seasoning that he's brought into the ring. Can't fall apart now, surely.
No, I think he's tired. He's looking to try and close the show a little bit. Got to be careful, doesn't walk onto one.
He is tired, and maybe Morrison can sense that, but he's running out of time. Left it too late? Probably.
Lines looking for the right hand. It's the wrong thing to do. I'm sure he's making Paul Cook in the corner pretty nervous.
as you probably would have expected after what he's done throughout the first 10 rounds. He's faded a bit, Colin Lynes. We think there's enough rounds in the bank. Will the judges? 19 years he's been fighting Lynes, and this would be the crowning moment. Morrison, he showed real grit to fight this one out. Don't think it's been his night though. Colin Lynes has been majestic at times. He believes, and so does father David, delighted, and wife Kelly celebrating. I think daughter Courtney's at home. She'll be watching on television. A family affair up here in Scotland. Has he come and wrenched this title away from Barry Morrison? We don't know for sure, but I'll tell you what, Glenn, that was Colin Lynes at his very best.
Well, that was somebody that really followed the game plan, worked probably very hard on this all the way through the gym work. Gives a little wink down to us. But he did everything right. He knew what he had to do. Great boxing. The jab, a match winner for him, and he kept it going all the time. And good performance from Colin Lynes.
And he's come back from setbacks. He showed the fierce determination and the belief. And a sad look on the face of Barry Morrison. And this is why, from the very beginning, and that jab.
Yep, straight away, got down to his game, got the left hand, just moving out beautifully, 2s and 3s. Not allowing Morrison to get set, kept that going. All of a sudden, the 4th round started to get in a little bit, Morrison, but then it was back to the trusty left hand. He'd obviously worked on that long and hard, knew that was the match winner for him, and carried that out excellently.
And made a mockery of being 5-2 against Colin Lynes going into this.
Yeah, but I think the Lonsdale belt is going to have a brief stay in its long history, the light welterweight in Scotland.
I think both fighters know Colin Lynes' night. Let's hear officially.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges for your decision this evening. Judges scored the contest 116 to 113. 117 to 111 and 116 to 112 points for your winner by unanimous decision and new light welterweight champion of Great Britain from Hornchurch in Essex, Colin Lynes.
Finally, Colin Lynes has his night. British champion and thoroughly deserved.
Please give a big round of applause for a gallant loser, Scotland's very own Barry Morrison.
Well, the home crowd may have expected it to go the distance, but they were hoping for a different outcome. We'll be talking to the winner shortly, and Jim will give us his considered verdict, and we've plenty more excellent action ahead on Friday Fight Night here in Motherwell. We've got Damien Owen of Swansea, promising Welsh lightweight. He'll put his skills to the test against Pedro Verdú.
StansPoker.com. Have it. Well, Colin, away from home and against the odds, how does it feel to finally win that British title?
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. First of all, congratulate this crowd. There was no nastiness, good electric atmosphere, supporting their man. And he'll come again, 15 fights, eh? He done a good job on another one of our fighters, Lenny Dawes. So I'm just so pleased. And for my dad, you know, Ed, this means so much for me tonight. I lost a close friend a couple of months ago, and he'd have screamed above all this lot. Paul Gray, Acker, Larry, and you know, most of all, I've just done this for everyone else. I know people say, do it for yourself, Cole, but for my dad, for Larry, for, you know, all my family and the hard work I put in, Emma Trainer, I just did what I had to do in there, focused, you know, chipping away. I don't know whether it was a class performance. I'll have to watch the tape. I was so focused, Ed. I just knew I was winning the rounds, and that's it.
A great performance. What was the key tonight? Was it your jab or the discipline to keep using the jab and not get drawn into a fight?
It could have been a bit of both. I think I needed to hurt him sometimes inside to gain that respect where he weren't going to keep charging. Because no matter how good your jab is, if someone keeps charging through, they're going to get through with a couple. So you've got to stand your ground, but certainly if you're going to nick the belt off the champion in his backyard, I had to stand my ground. And nice and I wasn't rocked at any time, sometimes off balance, but hey, I've done a good job, I believe.
Did he win your respect?
I think so. He had my respect before it started, that's for sure. You know, he's a tough cookie and he'll come again. Them Scots are a tough breed, and I think it's been great here tonight. My wife's birthday on the 11th, Kelly.
Congratulations.
So, and my daughter Courtney, she was a bit upset earlier because I've been away for 3 days now, but I said to her, hey, Courtney, it'll be worth it, and it is. It really is.
Well done tonight.
Have a nice belt, pal.
Tonight for him.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was a tremendous performance. I mean, it's difficult to be happy when a Scotsman loses a title to an Englishman, but I have to say it couldn't happen to a nicer or a more deserved Englishman. Boxed a wonderful performance tonight. If you're going to win a title on the back foot, you have to do it emphatically, and Colin did that tonight, no question in anybody's mind.
And we knew from the outset, and you said it before the fight, it was going to be a hard night's work for Morrison.
Yeah, and I said that I felt Morrison had to grow into the role of being champion. What I was actually saying was, in a tough division, was he ready to take on the mantle? I don't really think he was ready. There's so much of the job, but he doesn't really know what to do. If you're going to face Colin Lyons, you know he has the best jab in the business. So you go in with what you think is going to be an answer to that jab. Look at the jabs he landed in the first 2 rounds. Look at this. I mean, it's as though Morrison was surprised at the accuracy of the jab. They had nothing to cope with it, nothing to come back, no antidote whatsoever. He couldn't get into the fight, so from this point on he was chasing things. From here he was starting to look despondent, losing heart. It was desperation that was spurring him on, and obviously a fighter's pride, but there was no method in what he was doing. He wasn't pressurising Lyons, he was coming forward, he was pushing him back, but it wasn't pressure, it wasn't educated, as I say, no great method. And Lyons was never knocked out of that stride, that rhythm that he found so early, never lost it. OK, he had to dig in the last couple of rounds when desperation reached fever pitch, but Morrison couldn't turn things round, and a very, very deserved winner.
Yeah, unanimous decision, wasn't it? And the judges saw it that way as well.
Yeah, it couldn't be anything else. I mean, as I say, if you're on the back foot and the other fellow looks busy, it looks as though he's doing something, then you can struggle with some bad decisions that we don't agree with. But he was making it so clear what he was doing. He was making Morrison miss. He was using his feet to get out of range, had him hitting fresh air at times and then punishing with counters. Not just backing off, actually coming back with counters, saying to the judges, look, I'm the master here. Look what I'm doing. Am I making it clear enough for you? And he certainly was.
Well, these are life, and what can he do now? Where can he go from here? A European title, perhaps?
Yep, I don't see why not. What you have to remember, this has been a tough division for all the 10 stoners because Ricky Hatton and Junior Witter dominated the division. They've moved on to world class now. OK, these guys are not as good as the 2 I've just mentioned, but suddenly the world is wide open again for Colin Lyons. Opportunities that would have gone to Hatton and Witter are going to now come to him.